Hey there, real quick before we begin, you're about to watch a live stream, which means you're really kind of behind the scenes here because these lessons are usually watched in the archives, but you're here for the live taping of them. So if we mess up really bad, we're probably going to chop that out, but you're going to get to see all of our bloopers and mistakes. We'll also chop this off, so no one is going to see this part of the lesson but you. And because you're behind the scenes, you're probably going to ignore my instructions when I say, like, pause the video and go practice or whatever. You can if you want. It's just that everyone in the chat room then will be in different places in the video. That's fine. When you want to join us live again, go down to the bottom of the video, click on the live button, and that should take you straight to where we actually are now. So now here comes the part for everybody else. I'm really glad you're with us. The archives are fine, but my favorite is talking to you live. So see you in the chat room. Welcome back to KidsLearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and as you can tell from the countdown clock here, the lesson is about to begin. If this is your first time playing piano, welcome. I'm very excited for you. You're going to do great. Hopefully you already received from us the welcome packet in the mail, and maybe you even got started on the Absolute Beginners video pack to teach you the names of the notes and things like that. But if not, that's fine. You'll do great. I'll show you how to play all the notes. And if I'm going too fast for you, you can always pause the video or rewind it and go over the more difficult parts. You can always pause the video or rewind it and go over the more difficult parts. And even if you only learn a little bit of this song and you don't learn the whole thing, you'll still learn enough to help you build skills so you can learn other songs faster in the future. So jump in, give it a try. You're bound to end up at least a little bit better than you even are right now. Throughout the lesson, I may refer to Joplin Academy, and you can check out that link on the website if you want. Basically, it's a program that takes you all the way from learning the names of the notes, the very beginning, through 12 levels of classical and jazz music, through all the skills that you would need to become a professional pianist. So you would learn all the same stuff that you would learn if you're taking regular traditional piano lessons, probably plus a little bit more, but it takes about 5 to 10 years to complete. So you can just try out the first level, see if it's the kind of thing that you like, or if you just care about today's lesson and learning this song, then just ignore all those references and focus on today's lesson. If you're watching this at learnpianolive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The MP3 is a play-along track that you can use to practice more after the lesson, but a lot of students like to print out the PDF right now so they have it during the lesson. Careful, it could be up to like 30 pages, so just find the couple pages that you want and print those out. If you decide not to, that's fine. I'll show you all of the notes on screen as we go through it. And we will be going through 5 different levels of this song that all use the same play-along track. So even if you've never played piano before, you'll still be able to do level 1. And then as we go through level 2, 3, 4, and 5, then when we use that same play-along track, you just keep playing your same version. If you're watching this lesson in the archives and you have a question during the lesson, then feel free to click on that survey button. And at the end of the survey, there's a place for you to ask your question, and I will do my best to get back to you with the answer to that question. But if you're with us live as we're recording this today, then feel free to click on that chat button, and you can talk with all the other students who are logged in during the live lesson. And if you have a question about the lesson, then you can just go ahead and type that into the box that says, Ask Jamin a Question, and we will do our best to answer that question live in the lesson. All right, I think that's the end of the boring stuff. I'm ready to learn a song. Stay tuned at the end of the lesson and I'll show you how to win more points and earn more prizes next week. But for right now, let's get this party started. That's the one. It's kind of fast, but you can totally do this. I believe in you. I'll show you all of the notes, exactly how to play them. Even if you've never played any songs before, this will be your first time playing a full song. But first, let me introduce to you the incomparable Kendra.
Guess what, Jamin? It was super fun. I got to, with some very special people, set up our Christmas tree, and we got to make cookies and put on lots of frosting. It was so fun.
That is one of the loveliest things I've heard in a long time. That's fantastic.
It was so fun.
Right. Yeah, cool. Well, 'tis the season. Here we go. Here's some music to go along with it. And of course, Kloppel is here, and he will be moving us right along, jumping in the shot. Hi, Kloppel. He's jumping a lot more than I will be tonight because my back is killing me because I'm super old, so I can barely move. So if you hear any old man noises in the middle of the lesson, like, that's because I moved in such a way that my back didn't like. So let's see how this all goes. Sound effects and all. We're going to start on a G. In order to find a G, you just need a group of 3 black notes, like those ones right there, or those ones right there. Any group of 3 is going to work just fine, and you're going to play the note that's in the middle. So just don't use a group of 2 black notes. That's going to mess you up. You want a group of 3 black notes. You're going to take the note that's in the middle, and then you're going to drag it a little bit to the left, and you're going to land on a white note. That white note is a G, and it's the first note that you need. So if you can find a group of 3 black notes, take the middle note and drag it to the left, you land on a G, and we've got 2 of them right there at the beginning, and we're going to say out loud the words, oh, the, on each of those Gs. Try that with me. Ready? Oh, the. Yeah. Now, you'll notice that this next one is also a G, and so most people are going to be like, hooray, another G. I'm rocking this thing. I'm already on a G, but you might notice this line does not go straight across. It goes up a lot. So we're going to go from this note right here to the exact same note. It doesn't move at all. To G that's way, way farther up. So to find the G that's farther up, you can either count through the musical alphabet. The next note over would be an A, and you can count through your alphabet A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and go up to that one. Or you might notice that this G right here is also right below the middle note in a group of 3 black notes. So in the same way that we found this G, we could find a G right up here just by going to the next group of 3 up. That's called an octave, by the way, and you learned that in Clapple Academy level 2, I think. We talk about octaves. So that's a G. We need another G that's an octave away. So we're gonna play this higher G and say wev. So the very first 3 notes that we have are O, the, wev. Yeah, you got this. O, the, wev. Now, this next one is a G, and as you can tell, it's the exact same one. It's not going up or down. It's staying the same. So all 4 first notes are all Gs. 2 of them are these ones, and 2 of them are these ones. Okay, cool. So far we have O, the, weather. Let's try that along with the track. The count is going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh, the weather. It's going to be kind of fast, so get ready on both of those. I'd recommend you use your left hand for this G and your right hand for this G, but even if you can't get all 4 of these notes in, that's fine. If you are in the archives right now, you might want to press pause, practice up the first 4 notes of the song, but if you're with us live here, then just get all the notes that you can. If you miss some of the G's, that's perfectly fine. Do your best, and everyone play your own version of Oh, the Weather. Ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 1, 2, go. Oh, the weather. Yeah. All right, so now it's time to move off of the G's and do something else. We're going to go straight down to that C right there. You don't have to know any of the letters, though. If you want to, you could just follow along with the words and know that you're going to go all the way to fright. That's when the pattern stops. So right there, we'd have 4 G's at the beginning. We'd go, oh, the weather, and then outside is fright. Just all straight down. So weather outside is fright. Or if you wanted to, you could go by the letters, or if you wanted to, you just know that it's 5 notes all in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, the weather outside is fright. Now, the next one is not the next note down, but if you kept your left hand on that G, then you're in luck, because that next note is G, and the note after that is G, and the note after that is G. All of those right there are all the same exact note that you started on. So when you play that with your left hand, just don't leave it. Just keep your hand right there on those G's and don't move your left hand. Those G's are coming back. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the... And then the next one we have is fire. Now, we already played fire. It's a D, and we already played a D right over there on is. So you've already played this note. It is 4 notes up from this G. So if we count up 1, 2, 3, 4, it's that note right there, right in the middle of a group of 2 black notes. So that one's called a D right there. And we're gonna play that one and go back and forth between that one and the one right next door to it, the C. And we're gonna play fire is so D. Fire is so D. Now, after D for light, we're not coming back up to the D. So that only goes for 4 notes. And right about here is where a lot of people are going, wait a second, hold on, I'm not ready. I still need to practice the first line. If you still need to practice the first line, then what you should do is practice the first line. You'll be fine. Don't worry. You can come back to the video anytime you want and pick up on all the rest of these notes. So whenever your brain starts feeling too full, quit listening to me and then just practice the part that is a challenge for you. So fire is so D. Then we're gonna go 1 note over for light and then back to that same G that we started on. This one right here. Now, the very first thing we did was find a G and find a higher G. Remember that? So we were finding G's. Now, if you went to play the song and instead of playing G's, you played the next note over. You're like, I know how to play this song, and you messed up and you were off by 1 note. You would end up playing 2 A's. That's exactly what we need. So these next ones right here are gonna be and since. And as you can tell, from and to since, we gotta go way, way up. So and since, we're gonna go from that one all the way up to that one. And then we got the same exact note, weave, and then straight down, no place to go. All of those right there. All 5 notes in a row, just like we had 5 notes in a row before. And then we're on to the last line, because we've already played all the way up to go. Let's try that first with the track before I show you the very last line. We're gonna try to get up to the word go, up to that star right there. And then I'll show you the rest of those notes. If you're in the archives right now, press pause, practice all the notes up to go, or whatever is a challenge for you. If you're live with us, get all the notes that you can. Don't worry about the ones that you mess up on. That's perfectly fine. Here we go, everyone playing their own version with us. Ready, go. 1, 2, and a 1, 2, go. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. Here are those A's, and since we've no place to go. All right, so the highest note we've played so far is this A right here. Now we're going to play the really real highest note of the entire song, which is one note higher. It's a B. It's this note right here. It's going to be the highest note of the song. All right, I had a feeling. That's all right. We're on the last time. We're on the last line anyway, so this will be our last time through once I show you these notes. But this note right here, that B, is going to be the word let. We're just going to go in little chunks of 3, in groups of 3. So we're going to play 1, 2, 3, just like that. And we're going to say, let it snow. You can do that. Find that B, that highest note. It's above a group of 3 black notes. So it's that one right there. And we're going to play 3 notes in a row. Let it snow. You can do that. And then we're going to start on that last note that we ended on. So we have that group of 3. We're going to move to that last note and play the exact same thing from that note. So a group of 3 moving down. Let it snow. And then you might have guessed, we're going to start on that last note and do one more group of 3 and say, let it snow. That's the whole entire song. You just did the whole thing. The end of it is, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. 3 groups of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Starting on the highest note right there. But Kloppel says it's our last time through. So let's get all the notes that we can. If you miss a whole bunch of them, that's all right. Everyone playing their own version of this song. Let's go. 1 and a 2. And a 1, 2, go. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. Hear those A's, and since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. There we go. That is all of the notes. We'll be adding in more like other fancy notes, harmony notes, and some left-handed stuff on levels 2, 3, 4, and 5. But for right now, Kendra, tell us about our weekly activity.
This week is the bass clef spelling, and if you write the names of the notes, they all spell words. Find the words and tag Learn Piano Live when you post a picture on Facebook or Instagram for 150 bonus points for my mascot penguin Kloppel.
And that really helps out when you're doing the level 3 stuff that includes the bass clef, the left hand, when you start including those. But for right now, I want to wish a happy birthday to all of our students who have birthdays in December. The big 251 for Beethoven. Happy birthday, buddy. All right, let's play our weekly game. Today it's going to be Merry Joy. And so I'm going to play you 2 notes, and your job in this game is to tell me whether you think this is the beginning of Mary Had a Little Lamb or Joy to the World. You might think that those songs sound totally different, but they don't. They sound almost the same. So you'll have to listen really carefully. Like Mary Had a Little Lamb would sound like this. Those are the first 2 notes for Mary Had a Little Lamb. Let me play it again. So if you imagine, if you try to sing along, Mary had a little... But Joy to the World would sound like this, almost exactly the same. Oof. Like this. Joy to the world, the Lord. So you've got to tell me whether it's a major second for Mary Had a Little Lamb, or whether it's a minor second for Joy to the World. You don't have to say the major second and minor second unless you're in like Kloppel Academy level 3 or 4. Then you're having to do this stuff as like part of your tests and stuff. But for the rest of us, it's just a game to see if we can do it or not. And you're going to be competing against Kendra, who's going to jump in right now. And your goal is to just say it before Kendra, because Kendra never gets these things wrong because she's got like perfect pitch and stuff. And so this game is easier for her. But you're going to try to say it before her, even if you don't beat her, get more of them than her. So here we go. Here's our first 2 notes. These 2 notes are the beginning of Mary Had a Little Lamb, which is a major second, or Joy to the World, which would be a minor second. Here we go. Man, this is a tough game. Try to sing along. Okay, one more time. Guessing at home before Kendra does, or you can put it in the chat too. Okay, Kendra, what do you think it is?
Well, at first I was trying to sing Joy to the World in my head, and it didn't quite work.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Yeah, it was. That was a major second starting on D. All right, here we go. What about this one right here? Try to sing along, Mary Had a Little Lamb, and then try to sing along Joy to the World. Yeah, what is that one? What is that? Okay, Kendra, what do you think it is?
I was trying to sing Mary Had a Little Lamb, and it didn't quite sound right. So Joy to the World?
Yes. That was a minor second. Good job. Okay, one more of these. Let's try this one right here. I'm going to go way up high for this one. This one's tricky. Try to sing along. That's going to help you out. Try to sing Mary Had a Little Lamb. Pretend in your head, believe in your head that it is Mary Had a Little Lamb. And if that doesn't sound right, then believe in your head that it is Joy to the World. Try it both ways. But you really got to believe in it both times when you try. Here we go. And one more time. Okay, Kendra, tell us the answer. What do you think it is?
I've been believing in my head that it's Joy to the World, and I think that's right, I think?
It is.
Okay, cool.
Nice job. And that is major seconds and minor seconds. Hopefully you got one of those. If you didn't, that's fine. Just keep trying. We'll play this again later, and you'll get more of them right. But for right now, let's do a little bit of mailbag.
If you'd like to win an extra 750 points by being the mailbag winner, just fill out the survey at the end of the lesson or send us a message anytime during the week using the contact button at the top of the page.
And this week is from Tristan Tolle, who says, Dear Jamin, do I need to be able to read music to play piano? So if there are any parents in the room or old piano teachers, you might want to leave right now. So the answer is not really. No. Okay, so with the parents and the music teachers back, it is really super helpful to be able to read music, but not really so much to play piano. It's kind of like reading. Like, do you have to know how to read in order to be able to speak? Well, no, actually you don't. Little kids speak just fine without knowing how to read at all. But if you do know how to read, then you can get books and just have stories enter your head with just you and a book. And that's a really super cool, awesome skill. So absolutely, everyone should learn how to read, but you don't really have to learn how to read in order to learn how to tell a story. And the same is true with music. I know some musicians who are great, and they play beautiful music. Some of them play better than me, and they can't read a single note of music. But the two skills really aren't together like you think they would be, reading music and playing music. It's like the same thing. It's not really the same thing at all. So it's a really super important skill that's really helpful to have, but it has nothing to do with playing piano, which is why when we play our songs here, we usually just like try to find the directions on the piano and like play the song, because we can play the song without reading music. But yeah, don't tell any old-timey teachers or your parents that I said that, because I don't think that answer is allowed, but it's the one that I think is right. Okay, I've got some more secrets for you. We call this secret information.
Secret information.
And this week, in our top secret information folder that you got if you are a Music Lessons in a Box subscriber, we have this month's music profile. Says that the last line of this uses something called sequencing. Let's take a look at this. So when we have this last line right here, we've got those sections of 3 notes. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is a super important skill for you to use it, especially if you're writing songs. So it's this same idea, but you just move it. And if you pay attention in other songs, you'll see that same thing where like they'll take some little group of notes. Maybe it's 4 notes in some other song. And then they'll move it over. And they'll move it over. And they'll move it over. Actually, that could be a song right there. Just 4 notes in a row. That sounds like a cool song. Or maybe you could go the other direction. You could sequence it up. Or you could sequence it by skipping. So we could go like, and then instead of playing the next note over, you could skip up a note. And then skip up a note. And then skip up a note. So you can sequence in all kinds of different ways, and when you see it in a song, it's really helpful to like recognize it so you can memorize the song way easier. Just like, oh, it's just 3 notes that are sequenced, and everyone else would be like, what are you talking about? You must be an awesome musician, because you are. Okay, the second thing in our folder says that the whole song is one big 2-5-1. Okay, yeah, so really almost no one knows what we're talking about except for really high level musicians. But if you pay attention to the chords, especially like on level 2, you'll notice that this thing right here, if we count C as 1, because we're in the key of C, like we do in level 5, right? We count that as number 1. Then, in fact, if you throw the numbers on here, that'd be great. So if we count C as number 1, then we can count the next note over. This D right here, that'd be a 2. And this G right here would be a 5. And so when we have a D chord to a G chord to a C chord, D to a G to a C, that's one of the most important moves in music, and definitely one of the most important moves in jazz. It's going from the 2 to the 5 to the 1. If you ever notice your left hand going from the 2 to the 5 to the 1, you're kind of playing jazz. And this whole song goes 5-1, 2-5, 2-5, 2-5-1. All the moves are 2-5 or 2-5-1. So this song is basically one big 2-5-1. Okay, cool. The last thing on in our folder says that this song is usually swung. Okay, so this is kind of tricky. So this has to do with how the 8th notes are played. So these guys are 8th notes right here. If you're in Classical Academy level 2, you're already dealing with 8th notes. So you've already seen this before. But these guys that have the bars on them, if you're playing a song that's swung, then those aren't really even. This one's right here is a little bit longer than this one right here. So this is like the second note in 8th notes are just kind of smaller-ish. They don't last as long. So if we had like a bunch of G's, and we'd want to play the first one a little bit longer and the second one kind of shorter, and then this next one would be a little bit longer and then short, and they go back and forth, long, short, long, short, long, short. That's called swung. Those are swung 8ths. If it's even 8ths or straight 8ths, then all of the 8th notes are just all even. It's just the same size note no matter what. But on swung songs, it's like long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short. That was the opposite. Short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long. So that's swung, and this song is swung. So if you pay really close attention to those 8th notes, you'll notice when I play them, I don't play them all the same value. I play the first one a little bit longer and the second one a little bit shorter. Well, that's all the secret information that's in the folder, which means our last secret is who won this week's raffle. Maybe it's you. So sadly, the lesson preview has come to an end, and it's time to say goodbye to everyone watching the free streams. Of course, paying subscribers at learnpianolive.com can continue watching this lesson and several hundred others like it in the archives. So come on over and check us out. And if you like what you saw, at least like and subscribe, and then tell your friends to head on over to learnpianolive.com to start enjoying this journey with us.